Hey peeps, welcome back to a special continuation of our previous episode. We talked so much we had to split it up, so if you haven't listened to the previous, go ahead and check that out. If you're all caught up, then you may proceed.
John.
Hey.
Did you want to cover some stuff?
Yeah, I covered up my leg because it's cold. Fuck.
You feel that breeze?
Those videos we'll post on the BTP Facebook page.
It changes the way you walk.
For those. Yeah, I'm guessing. It's going to change the way I sleep. Look at the bruise.
Is that a bruise?
Yeah.
Well, he did hit it, didn't he?
Well, he slapped it and then he ripped it and he didn't get all of it, so then he had to do it again.
And then he licked it.
And I'm a bitch, so I cry like a little bitch.
I'm saying ain't nothing wrong with that.
What was the back of the knee?
It's a nice segue, actually. Did I overreact or underreact to that? That's what we're going to talk about today.
Where are we going?
I have a couple of news stories or stories that were in the news.
I'm not nothing but able to set up segues.
There you go.
That's all this was just one giant segue.
So I cut a few of these out, and one I'm going to combine, but we're going to go over a couple, and I'm going to tell you how the people reacted, and you're going to tell me if they overreacted, they're underreacting, or reacted probably the way they should have acted.
Is this also kind of like a am I the asshole type of thing?
Maybe.
Did you send me your video too?
I need you to look up. There's two videos in that one.
Oh, is that both?
There's both of them. I need you guys. We'll start with this one first. If we have to look, if we have to pause and watch it, we'll find out. You guys aren't really into the TikToks, you two or not so much?
I mean, I only see what TikTok does on YouTube.
There's an egg breaking challenge.
Oh, yes.
Where you try to break it on your
kids' heads?
Yeah. Have you seen this?
Mean.
That's not nice.
Okay.
One.
Here we go. So there's a lady who completely freaked out, and her reaction to it was she posted this TikTok video, and she talked about how it was, it's scare. We're supporting people scaring and humiliating their toddlers. Now, have you seen most of these videos, or have you just?
I've seen a handful.
So they're funny. First of all, I think they're funny, but I'm a sick son of a bitch who also doesn't have kids.
An egg is kind of. I mean, it's not. It's not like even if it was a hard.
Most of these kids are like, "Ow, what the hell," or stuff like that.
It's more surprising. It's not painful.
Justin, you can probably add a few sound effects of how these kids are reacting right here, so people know. Or you could just Google it if you want. I mean, some kids like immediately start just laughing. Some are crying, and it's
egg. Oh! That's one egg.
Are you gonna help me make brownies?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Ow. That hurts.
Are you okay?
Oh. Yeah. I don't like that. Hello, everybody. We're helping my mom to crack an egg. Okay.
So we're gonna make scrambled eggs.
Oh, yep.
Okay.
So this lady was all about, she called it child abuse and all this other stuff. And I was like, well, I responded to one. I was like, first of all, so I think, real quick, I think she's overreacting to an extent.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was her response?
She called it child abuse because we're humiliating these toddlers and we're scaring them and we're abusing them. And I'm like, there's a difference between cracking an egg on somebody's head and punching a kid in the face.
Yeah.
Like that's actual child abuse.
It's like taking a ball.
Yes, there is
hammer
emotional child abuse too, but I mean, it's a 30-second TikTok. They're gonna grow up and probably look at it and fucking laugh at it. If this ruins a child's life
in 20 minutes and think it's funny.
After they were like, "Why'd you do that to me?" Like whatever. I mean, kids do that all the time. My niece, if I did that to her, she'd probably laugh her ass off and then try to throw eggs at me. So, like I said, without seeing the video, I guess you guys haven't seen the video. I was gonna try to find
I've seen videos of the such.
There's like one in particular that I was kind of watching where
I was hoping she would respond, so then I could like just.
It was like a good 30 seconds or so of like this kid looking back and forth to like her mom and sister or something like that, who both cracked an egg on both of their head, or on, sorry, her. And she's like, "That's not nice. How would you like that?" And it's like, it comes off as mean. Yeah, I can see an argument for that.
Right.
But it's like, it's really not harming them. And if they want to say something along the lines of like it's an embarrassment or whatever, it's like, I think being able to laugh at yourself is probably one of the best skills you can learn from yourself.
Absolutely.
It's like,
Sorry, go ahead.
well, it's pretty much it. If you're not able to laugh at yourself, you're definitely going to have a hard time. You're going to take everything too seriously.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's different love languages too.
And that's kind of what I replied to her. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying it's different love languages. Like some families, like my family will push and slap each other, punch each other, and like it's just the way we show affection. Like some families are just like that.
Yeah, I learned to laugh at myself very, very young. And that's why I responded to her. I was like, this is why everybody walks on eggshells now and kids are growing up and not like the real world. Like we talked about this on when John's Grumpy Couch or whatever you guys renamed it for that one segment that was supposed to be 20 minutes and there was 52.
You counted?
No, I just looked at how long the podcast episode was.
You look at the length of the podcast?
Yeah.
And the girth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the width. I got to know what I'm taking.
Giggity, giggity.
Question mark? Giggity, giggity. But anyway, I was like, this is why kids are getting into the real world and they're not being able to handle it because humiliation is part of growing up.
Yeah.
And this isn't like we're tarring and feathering you and depantsing you on the internet. We're cracking an egg over your head.
You're not walking through the streets, shame.
Yeah,
shame.
exactly. Whore.
Yeah.
I mean,
the thing is, it's like
girls do that themselves, but email no one cares at
I guess when it comes to this is a sense of humiliation. I can see that, but it's not like extensive humiliation.
Right. Agreed.
It's also kind of teaching you more lessons. When it comes to like winning or losing, I mean, like you do have to take a loss. Like you've made mention to come to terms with it pretty quickly when we're going to go back to like your whole face thing, whatever. Yeah. It's like you took the loss.
Right.
Fuck, man. Like there's nothing you can do at this point. You win some, you lose some. But that's one of the best things that people can do. If you can lose with grace, that's better than winning with pride.
Absolutely.
Being a sore winner or a sore loser, it's lesser than being a graceful winner or graceful loser.
Agreed. So I think we're all in agreement she overreacted.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
There was another video kind of like that I seen that a daughter and her boyfriend went up to her bedroom and locked the door, and the mom's brother cut the door in half so she could unlock the door, taking away the little girl's privacy. Huh. And people are like, well, this is why she's never going to trust you when she gets old and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, she's directly breaking a rule that you set forth. I don't think there's any like trust breaking there.
So the daughter just locked her own bedroom door?
The teen girl with her boyfriend went in her room and locked the door, with her mother specifically asked her not to.
Gotcha.
So they went up and cut a big hole out of the door so they could open it up. And people were defending the teen that's invading her space and taking her freedoms away and all this.
It's like,
so I think those people, I would say in this segment, overreact.
Yeah, I think those people did for sure. But I mean, like, I also think that this is something that it's pretty much the parents' fault anyways.
Right.
It's
I
like
also think that's an overreaction as well.
Yeah.
To do something like that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm talking about. The parents is overreacting for sure, but it's also their fault that the teenager is not obeying you. I mean, then again, teenagers do go out to try to test their limits and see how much they can get away with.
Right.
That's part of growing with anything.
So they like Joey Tribbiani at the door? Is that what you're saying? How the
Well,
door's
they
like
like-
cut in
If
half?
you get me, you kill me.
They basically like Jack Nicholson from The Shining, the door just took a big
I
chunk
was
out of it.
picturing
Was it
something
power
different.
tools or was
Yeah.
it?
I was
like a-
picturing something different.
With like a circular saw.
It's like, oh, did I get you?
They put it in a window like at IHOP to go to the kitchen.
I don't know. We called Dave and asked him.
Yeah, we called David and asked him.
Dave's not here.
Well, not anymore. All right.
Yeah, no, I think so. I do agree with the commenter about the privacy issue. I think this will kind of create more problems than what it actually solves. But I also think that if that's the rule that's established in the house or whatever, it's like no locked doors with your boyfriend. How old was she?
Like 12 or 13.
Oh, yeah. Even still, yeah. Yeah, you should be respecting the parents' wishes or whatever.
Right.
Early teens.
I think they might have been overstretching a little bit with the punishment just due to the 15 minutes of internet fame.
Yeah. And if they're filming that,
Yeah.
that's, I mean, I feel like there's deeper issues if you're going to be filming your, is it traumatizing? Not really. Can it lead to further issues? Yes.
Gotcha.
Overreacting on the parents' parts, yeah.
I think it's overreacting. Everyone is overreacting. Like, it's a bigger deal. Like, the people reacting to what the parents did is also an overreaction, I think. Like, how dare you? What? No, like, I mean,
if that's
what
how
they
they're,
did, yeah, I mean,
if that's how
it's
they're
hard.
responding
They're not
to,
as overreacting as the parents did.
right? If
But
that's
I
how
still
they
think
are reacting to it,
overreacting.
then I mean, it's not their kid, so
Right.
they can't say "how dare you," whatever,
Right.
whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Because their kid's probably killing somebody.
Jeez.
So this next one is interesting. I have a photo. I'll tell you what happened. In Pennsylvania, there is a guy who drove his car through a house. However, he's on the second floor.
Hey, this isn't where I parked my car.
Because there's like right before the driveway, there's like a little ravine for like water. And so he hit it
Oh,
and
okay.
zoomed up into. I have a
Nice.
picture of how that happened.
Fucking evil Knievel.
Right.
Was there anybody?
The police said it was not an accident,
Oh.
and the guy was probably either on drugs
Drugs are bad.
or drunk or both. They said this only happened a few days ago, so there's not a huge amount of details at the moment. The homeowners are not pressing charges because they were all downstairs, and luckily nobody was hurt. So do you think that's an overreaction, an underreaction, or that's probably
an
about on par?
underreaction.
I think if a motherfucker jumped through my house with a car, it doesn't matter what floor I'm in or if I'm hurt, I think I might overreact a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, but
Do
your reaction
you-
is an underreaction because
Yeah,
I
'cause
mean,
there's like, whatever.
Very much
he's getting a
underreacted.
free pass.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Now-
cool on him.
Does
He
this
might get
affect your decision
charges.
though? It is unclear if this person is related. It isn't his home, but it's unclear that it's related. And they said it was intentional. So I feel either A, he was trying to do some evil Knievel shit and try to jump his driveway and fucked up, or he was, maybe an ex situation like, fuck you, you cheated on me, drive my car through your house.
if it's a
If they're related,
if it's
Yeah, so
what if
like,
he just like got out of the car and
those are two different situations. So
climbed
how,
into bed?
do you underreact to or overreact to those?
So I think it's still underreacting on both accounts because if it is an ex situation and you jump your car through their house, you can take it one of two ways. You can attempt to sue them and be the bad guy, or you can be the bigger person and be like, hey, I don't feel bad. You're on drugs. You're doing this. Just let's get out of each other's lives. Be the bigger person.
Right.
If it's a family member and they just are dipshits and they just jump through your house, then it's like, I don't want to press
Please
charges
say it was
on
an
them.
intentional act.
An
Please say-
intentional,
That's
yeah.
what the air quotes is, an intentional act. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an underreaction on both parts. I would be a little bit more pissed off if somebody jumped through my upper floors.
Absolutely.
Wait, on both parts, like the person driving the car.
Like, look at these photos. Like, but I mean, look at their inside of their house. Like, it's just like destroyed. And they're like, nobody was hurt. We're not going to press charges.
Just a lovely
That
family.
Corolla is fucked.
They
too,
might
by
be
the way.
terrified too that like
Yeah, that's what
this
I'm
guy on a
wondering, like,
normal day just tried to drive through my upstairs. Like, what's he gonna do on a bad day?
Is that like the family
police
dealer?
are still going to charge him, but the residents aren't pressing charges. I
Right,
guess.
he'll obviously get tickets and charged with something.
Aggravated assault, reckless endangerment of another person, and criminal mischief is what I guess they're
Well,
trying to charge him.
I can kind of understand because, I mean, they don't want to press charges because he does know where they live.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying there. The vehicle landed on the second floor. Yeah,
That shouldn't be a sentence. The vehicle
The
landed on the
vehicle
second
landed-
floor.
when you're
Come on.
addressing a car anyway, like plane, helicopter,
and just imagine like you get there and like, how do we get this out of here?
Right.
Like that's
like this some Donnie Darko shit right here.
Right.
Like a car fell from the sky and landed on my second floor.
right. And who knows what other things it could be? Like, could the house collapse if you pull that out?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The car could have combusted and set on fire.
The homeowners put a tarp on the hole. That'll fix it.
Where are they from?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Pennsylvania. Yeah, it's kind of like a county road house. Like, I don't know, like if you were driving up to like Blair or something, like Tacoma, like one of those like houses, I think. So we think the owners are underreacting though.
I do think the owners are
Yeah, a
underreacted.
touch.
That was a weird one when I first saw that story. I was like, how am I going to bring this up? And then like, this segment came up, so I was like, all right.
There's like insurance is probably going to cover much of that, but
But would they, though? That'd be hard to explain to your insurance company.
How a car got on your second story.
I need to replace the siding and the roof on my house because
I
of
have a small
Corolla.
hole in the
Right.
A Corolla drove through
an
it.
06 Corolla.
It's like we'll send an estimator out and we'll see.
Well, fuck, that is a Corolla.
A Jimmy Corolla? Or Adam Corolla?
It would probably make more sense if Adam Corolla was stuck in the side of your house than a Corolla.
This next one made headlines recently over the last week. As we all know, there is a Maui volcano with fire and all that.
Oh, some of those pictures were awesome.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But what's happening
Not the
isn't
devastation. by any
So
means.
I guess when Sleepy Joe was over there, he compared the Maui fires to a house fire. Here's the direct quote. I don't want to compare difficulties, but we have a little sense, Jill and I, of what it was like to lose a home. Years ago, now 15 years, it was in Washington during Meet the Press. Lightning struck the house on the lake, and it hit a wire and went into the air ducts and burned down our house. I almost lost my wife, my Corvette, and my cat. And people are freaking out that he's comparing these Maui fires to a house fire like that.
Yeah.
Do you think these people are overreacting or underreacting?
I think they're underreacting.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think Sleepy Joe is just a fucking dumbass at this fucking point. Like, why would you think that there's how many people are killed now? 110 people and still hundreds missing. People can't get to their houses, and you're comparing this to a little house fire where you almost lost your Corvette and your cat.
Right.
I mean, I understand the wife part. I mean, that makes a little more sense, but I think people are definitely underreacting. I would be roasting him a lot more if,
Yeah.
Let's say, what are your thoughts, Justin?
I listened to a little bit of the interview.
He also apparently fell asleep during a thing, but people are saying that he was nodding or, praying or whatever.
He does that a lot.
Praying. He was fucking.
Like I said, it's Sleepy Joe Biden.
Checking
for
the
a
inside of his
fucking reason.
eyelid.
Yeah, he's something.
I think it's an underreaction. I think there's more that could be said for sure. I don't know.
I think it's a tragedy we'll never know the true impact of.
Right.
I feel like, to put it politically or whatever, I don't think Sleepy Joe Biden the last few years has not been so well of a leader.
To be fair, he was thrown into a pretty shitty position, but I think any person with a fucking
brain,
I wouldn't even say brain, like
he's
a sack of marbles could probably be in his position right now.
10 years past his due, I guess. I mean, he's there. A lot of people upon his election were pretty much calling it elder abuse back then.
I think we need to have an age limit on the president.
George Washington, as the third president of the United States, at least what was it, the second? Was he the second?
The first.
No, he wasn't the first.
George Washington?
Peyton Marshall
He was the first officially recognized president.
Yes. Yeah. Peyton Marshall was the first. One of your guys.
One of my guys? Yeah. But I figured that would be an underreaction to these ones.
Yeah.
These next ones are local.
So what do you, quick diversion, what do you think about the Maui thing? Do you think it's space lasers or you think it's government or what do you think it is?
I know there's
haven't
pictures that make it seem like it's space lasers. But...
Yeah, I haven't been too involved in this. I mean, and I feel like I should have.
Right, I agreed. Same. Like
I've been following the shit out of it. That and the Malaysian 370 video that shows it blipping out. Yeah, that shit's...
It's kind of funny too because I was actually just watching other laser things. There's like some tree cutting laser things. They put them at the bottom or whatever and angle it, and it's like like it just cuts a tree in half. Drops it that way. You got to climb it up and saw it down or whatever. But then like I saw other videos before the whole Maui thing happened of like laser things in the sky and stuff, and it's like that's weird. I mean, like you can probably say something along the a drone or whatever. I actually just watched that. What was that movie? Has Glenn from wow.
I don't know.
Peel. One of Peel's movies.
Nope.
Nope. Yep, that's the one.
No.
I just watched that one.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think a lot of alien stuff has been coloring my
You mean a giant blanket? or whatever that was in the fucking sky.
There's a
Parachute.
there's
I
a
guess.
dude I follow, and I'm
Did you like that movie?
I didn't hate it.
didn't
I thought it was
It's
more
his
than,
worst movie out of the
Is it?
three, I think.
I thought it could. I don't know if it.
It was weird.
there's a dude I follow on
Giant parachute
X. I'm trying.
hiding behind a cloud.
Right.
Spoiler
And it's just kind
alert.
of like becomes like is that its true form or so?
Right.
Cool.
This dude I'm trying to find on Twitter who is
Tinder?
Twitter or X or whatever you want.
It's called X now, yes.
He's a reporter. He's an investigative journalist who's in Maui, who is talking to all the locals and whatnot, and he's trying to basically bust it wide open. He's saying all the people he's talked to are like, the numbers are wrong. There's not 100 people dead. There's thousands of people dead. Like all the people they say are missing are dead.
Yeah.
And he's like, half the people they're finding who are supposedly missing have gunshot wounds in them, and most of them are children.
Right.
And
They're trying to say like a whole bunch of like Native American or Mexican people who are being, they have like the missing posters and stuff, and they're being pulled and put down and, Roswell type of stuff, I'm like, huh, okay then. Because you can't find anybody, no bodies, all,
Yeah. It's an interesting
Yeah.
situation.
sorry to hijack your.
No, yeah.
All comments are satire.
It's an overreaction. Not in my part. All my
on.
contacts are conspiracies.
The CIA's calling me real quick.
My thigh hurts.
You think that's the CIA?
It may be. So these two, I'm going to kind of, as we talked about, the heat over the last week has been just fucking awful. I can't remember the exact schools, but there were two schools that in the Omaha area here whose AC broke and classes were not canceled.
Ridiculous.
Parents were freaking out. Overreaction or underreaction? Those who aren't here, the heat index on Tuesday hit 123 degrees. So, I mean, that's...
Was it on the shady side?
No.
Well, think about it when we were kids, though. Like,
This is literally
it
the
would get-
devil's anus right now.
Yeah.
It would get that hot, like, occasionally when we were young in school. And we would still go to school. Like, we'd maybe get an hour or two early out.
Right.
I don't know about you guys in Nebraska, but we'd occasionally get an hour or two early out, but they never flat out cancel school for the heat. Because every time they canceled school, we would have to go an extra day into the summer. They never allocated us extra days.
Right.
So they did everything in their power not to cancel school. So when we would have super hot days in our tiny little school, but granted our school had 73 people in our graduating class opposed to your guys' 1,500 to 1,000 whatever kids in it.
What
So-
schools were they? Was it?
I can't remember the schools. I was going to look it up while you guys were talking.
But I think it's a touch with the current climate of softness of parents and softness of children. I think it's
Burke. Oh, that was right next to me.
Yeah.
And North High.
North.
The AC is down and the repairs could take days.
That does suck, especially with a lot of people in one contained space. But I feel like the area is insulated enough to try to maintain a little bit. I mean, like there's things that you could do. When I remember in elementary school, we didn't have air conditioning. We used to all just open up the windows, and if we were allowed, we would have like a water day or whatever. Like everybody would go outside and play, get your mind off of the stuff, drink some water and go through like the hoses and stuff. But yeah, it sucks. And I think it just kind of depends on how it is. There's a really cool structure design, I guess.
Well, also to like, it's only like one system in each of these schools. So like other areas of the building are still being air conditioned.
Right. If that's the case,
Oh, they're
no.
complaining about the whole building's not down, just certain
No.
sections are down? Fuck.
Yeah.
No,
no,
they're
that's
complaining that they're not canceling school because that certain section.
No, they
Fuck
can group
'em.
up. It's like
Fuck
that's what
that
I'm saying.
bullshit.
there's a
And
library
what are you
they
going to
can
do?
go to or
Release them
something like that.
outside to the hot or keep them inside where it's probably 10 to 15 degrees cooler? Even if it's still hot, it's
Right.
still cooler than it is outside.
Just have classroom in the bathroom. The tile floors are cold as fuck.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What are all those?
I've actually went and laid in the bathroom
all
one
those
time when it was hot.
Northo kids have to get off to get their kids from elementary school so they don't overheat.
Oh my God.
Yeah, if that's the case, if it's only a single unit or whatever, because they usually have backups
They're
and
also
emergency stuff.
the
and
school district is sending out bottled waters to these schools to pass out and stuff. So
that's fine.
I didn't have that bit of information at first. So that
There's science teachers there too. Can put some ice up in a fan, and then you got air conditioning.
You know how many times in California we used to, because we lived on the side of the mountain where there wasn't air conditioning, we would tape like granted, it never really got much warmer than 80, but every once in a while, a crazy day, it would hit 100 just randomly. No one would expect it. And it would just be like 79, 80, 81, 106 degrees, back down to 80. So no one would prepare for it.
Right.
We would take like the ice pops, the cheap 10-cent ice pops,
Right.
tape them to a fan and have those blow on
I have
us.
those in my fridge.
Then you got a snack in a few minutes. Yeah, no, there's a architectural design. When I was working at PayPal, I remember they were talking about another PayPal. I think it was in Texas or California or something like that, but had no air conditioning, but they had windows or these little glass panels that would shift. And the way that the wind would go through them, it would actually provide air conditioning throughout the area and aerate the area. I was like, well, that's cool. You don't have air conditioning, but you just use the elements that is provided
Right.
to you. It's like, that would be
Science,
something,
motherfuckers.
yeah, that'll be something that would kind of be cool and necessary, especially if that's the direction that we're moving, especially with like solar and all that.
Right.
But I think that's how it was shifting, was all solar. So,
Along the same lines with the heat, and Justin, you can probably chime in with this because your job involves you going around in the heat. No
I give the
trash
heat-
pickup in Omaha because of the heat. People are freaking out because their trash is sitting in the heat, just getting more disgusting.
it is disgusting. When it comes to certain jobs like that, it's like, you do have certain protections that you abide by or uphold. It's like, it sucks, but you still have to do the job. It's like, you did sign up for the job. And I don't want to just say, suck it up, but you kind of do have to suck it up.
Right. So you think that these people are overreacting or underreacting to not having their trash picked up?
That's kind of, I think it's a both. It just depends
That's why
because
I
you
kinda
don't
brought
know
this one up.
who's,
I thought this was an interesting one to include.
you don't know who has what. I mean, like, there's things that are rotten in people's stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's home daycares that probably have just piles of diapers ready to be picked up, and that sitting in 108 degrees is
Even
probably
still.
not going to be.
But you can't keep that stuff, especially at like a business like that. You can't keep that stuff inside. I mean, like, it's
Right.
going to start smelling and attracting bugs and stuff on the inside, and that's going to be an OSHA thing. So it's like,
So I think it's a slight overreaction
Yes.
from some people.
that is a dirty job that has to get done.
Yep.
I mean, it shows the 1% of people in America right now. Like, when the trash people are having to take time off because they're afraid to lose their lives,
Right.
and people are complaining.
Right.
Like, we care more about our refuge being taken away than the lives of other human beings.
Yeah, and they're probably all in the neighborhood behind my apartment too, because they're all entitled. Little bitches. Bitches.
You said a bad word.
So yeah, I think that one's a slight overreaction to that. I mean, there's just compromises we have to make right now when
Right.
it's 100,
But even
120 degrees.
it kind of also, I mean, we have a mixed bag when it comes to trash pickup. I mean, you have the people who hang on the back, and then you also have the arms that kind of take care of things. So not every neighborhood provide that sort of trash bin that you can
Right.
just like hook under and reach it over. You still need the manpower. You
Right.
still need to move things around.
In my
things are
apartment,
being
they
blocked.
literally have to move the actual dumpsters to
Right.
get them out because they put them in like a little
Oh, the little enclosed area.
cove, yeah, whatever the fuck they call them, little garages, trash garages.
car keep. It's car keep.
Trash receptacle.
Okay, Mr. French.
We have a guy from Connecticut at work, and he calls the carts carriages all the time. And I'm like, you fucking nerd.
Carriage?
Carriages, yeah. He's like,
We
you
called
have
them,
these kids outside getting carriages? Excuse me?
we called them buggies for the longest
Yeah,
time.
buggies. I've heard buggies too. But they're carts.
Do they turn into pumpkins?
Yep. Sure do.
Oh.
Take your head inside and bake the lies out of your lying mouth, you little liar.
And I got one more. Have you guys heard about what happened to the employee at Hy-Vee on 96th and Q? That's down the street from you.
Yeah, it's
Not too
diagonal.
far from here.
That's diagonal from my work area.
Have you heard about it?
What happened?
Well, I'll tell you. I'm
Tell
going to omit some information to see
Hold
if
on.
it changes your mind.
When did this happen?
Happened about 3-4 days ago.
That's weird because I'm always
5
talking
days
to like
ago.
the Hy-Vee people, but that's more like the
So I'll just read the article here.
gas station.
Richard worked at Hy-Vee near 96 and Q for the past 5 years. I'm omitting his last name. 2 weeks ago, Anthony's mother, I guess it's happened 2 weeks ago, was ready to drive him to the store to do his normal shift, but to her surprise, he wasn't dressed for work when he walked downstairs. I said, what happened? And they said no, come back. His family said the manager accused him of stealing a can of coffee and turned him into HR. It's sad for him, Sue said.
Oh.
It was his life. Everybody knows he loved it, and what they've done to him is rotten. Anthony said it came from an open package of canned coffee, unsellable items near the break room, signal that they are free for taking among employees. They pulled him in the office. They said to sign here, Anthony said, pointing to a termination report. When asked if he could say what it meant that he signed, he examined the paper and shook his head no. So he didn't even understand what he was signing. Then the family believes it was an unjust termination. They've complained up to the corporate ladder, reaching the Hy-Vee president. They said they were told initially this isn't Anthony's first instance of stealing, so they asked for proof. They didn't have any documentation of anything in the past, no write-ups, no anything, nothing was said to him. Anthony finished his shift that day. He was fired, but never got closure with his coworkers, people who he calls friends. I didn't even get to say goodbye, Anthony said. Hy-Vee had a statement. We've been talking to Anthony's family to remedy the situation. We have offered him his position back. At Hy-Vee, we continue to be committed to hiring and retaining and supporting people with disabilities.
Yes.
And have long-standing
key
history.
factor.
Yes. Which demonstrates that with any employee, we cannot discuss specific personal details. However, we are actually working on a resolution. So long story short, they've offered him his job back, and he doesn't want to go back, fearing retaliation. So yes, the actual headline is Omaha family of fired Hy-Vee employee with intellectual disabilities speaks. So he has a disability.
Yeah, he's high-functioning autistic.
Yes. So do you think the family...
What's his last name?
Richard? Like Richard, but with a T at the end? I mean, it's public information, so I mean, I guess we don't have to edit it out. I was just doing it just to do it. But so first of all, Hy-Vee staff, obviously an overreaction. We get these all the time at work. I work at Hy-Vee. We do have stuff that is outdated or unsellable. We put it upstairs, free to the staff. From my understanding, and I have, a few people who have talked to people who work at this Hy-Vee, he wasn't doing it in an area that he wasn't supposed to. It was... Sounds like the manager didn't like him or something. Sounds personal. So I think that from the Hy-Vee standpoint, it is an overreaction.
Yes.
To terminate somebody for something like that. Hy-Vee does take stealing very seriously. You can be terminated if you are stealing. This instance right here doesn't sound like stealing to me. Like I said.
No, they don't. They don't take it seriously when I do it.
Oh, Jesus.
They never catch me on my grapes.
Well, that's because those cameras suck. Anyway, so it's steal all the grapes.
Self-checkout?
Yeah. Don't get me started on those. Jeremy doesn't use them, though, so he never steals anything. As far as everybody coming to Anthony's aid, are they overreacting or underreacting?
I think a lot of them might be white knighting it.
Okay.
There's a difference stepping up for someone who is fired unjustly, but I think a lot of people might be.
Now, I think this is where you're going with that. Do you think people are doing it because of his disability?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think if he didn't have a
100%.
disability, this would even be a thing?
No, not at all.
It depends on his personality. It's like, I remember this guy is one of those guys who used to always go.
That's fair, but would it be as big a news story as it is?
No, it wouldn't be.
No, it wouldn't.
It'd be like just another.
That's why I
firing.
omitted that at first to see,
Yeah, when
get your minds down.
I assume that's where you're
I
going.
saw your brain figuring it out.
Yeah, when I read that article on Twitter, and
yeah, it's gone to Reddit, Twitter,
Yeah.
X, excuse me, whatever the fuck.
I
it's
usually
called.
see him in the parking lot, like watching his finger. Like he's usually just doing a little, before and then he'll stop and just grab the cards.
Did you look him up? To see,
I looked him up, but he doesn't have a picture, and I know who he is, and I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah,
But-
so.
yeah, it's a situation.
That would be your Hy-Vee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't know all the contributing factors to why he was let go. He could have been on
absolutely.
a warning.
But it's
He could
also
have
not fair that they wouldn't explain it to him because
Right,
in order
if
to
that's
that's something.
He needs representation.
Yeah.
that should
Absolutely.
be something at every job. But if they're hiring him as someone who is mentally handicapped,
Mm-hmm.
he needs to have representation. If he went in there as being hired as a normal, able-bodied person,
Right.
he doesn't get representation.
Right.
So it depends on how they hired him. If
We
they
have a
hire
clerk who literally has a person with him.
If they hire him as mentally handicapped, they don't have to pay him a normal wage. They don't have to give him set hours. They don't have to give him benefits. They don't have to give him anything because it's not a privilege, basically, to have that job. It's a requirement,
Right.
basically, for businesses to, like a diversity requirement. But if they give him a job as a normal employee, He has the same standards as a normal employee, but he has to be paid minimum wage.
Right.
He has to get the normal hours required, but he also has to live up to the same standards.
Yeah, there's an opportunity to help him immerse into society, or just feel it's more for his own mental type of thing to be useful in society, I guess.
And that was the thing going where I went to high school with the state mental hospital facility. They would integrate a lot of the special needs people into our community, where some of them would be normal employees. Some of them would have assistants. And that's where we learn that dichotomy of this person can't get fired. If they fuck up and leave their post with their support, doesn't matter, because they are not a quote unquote employee. They are an not
aide.
Volunteer, basically.
Yeah.
It's like work release.
Right.
But if they are hired as
for lack of a better term.
Yeah, they are held to the same standards as an employee.
Right.
So there's a lot of contributing factors in this story that we're just, as people, we're not gonna know.
Right.
And
100%.
Yeah.
Even me trying to, use my channels through the company, we're still not getting the same information.
Right.
Yeah. I've heard conflicting stories too. So
I know of the person. I've seen him often. I mean, like, he wasn't really bagging people, and it seems as though the people who were bagging, like, he would be around the same people, and they seem very supportive of him. They seem to treat him as an equal, which was cool. I don't know their personal situations, that they were just doing it for looks or so.
Right.
And I don't want to make that assumption that that's what they were doing, just for looks or something. But it's like, I can see how there has been many times where he's just like standing in the middle of nowhere, just, he does his little twitches, and it's like he can't help it.
No.
Right.
But are they just trying to get rid of that for the public shopper, or your common shopper or something? But
Well, the thing too about Nebraska, and those of you who aren't Nebraska residents don't understand this, but Nebraska is a right to work state. You can be fired for any reason.
Any reason.
So the fact that they are using the excuse of they fired him because he stole something, they could retract that and still fire him, and they have no recourse. None whatsoever. They have no justification why they have to explain why he's fired. He's fired him because it's Tuesday.
He's currently on a fishing trip to decompress about the situation.
Good deal. Good for him.
I knew you'd like that.
Yeah. But Hy-Vee owes us as the community zero explanation of their decision.
it's one of the things too, I guess, with it when it comes to like not necessarily the same thing, but Hy-Vee, I guess, or other. This is way off topic too. When it comes to grocers or something like that, asking you to donate to certain things, it's like you don't necessarily have to. Like they make it feel as though you're obligated to pay more. It's like, do you want to round it up to this, to whatever? But the reason why they do that is because they get, once they get to all that, they donate it somewhere and then they get a return or refund or whatever. A write-off. But it's like, well, you don't. So it's like, well, if you want to donate to it, then you should probably donate it to it directly rather than using them. But you do it's kind of like watching ads. It's like, watch ads because you're going to pay this person and then you'll.
It's kind of a genius system the way they do it now is with the rounding up because everyone's like, it's $9.48. Yeah, I'll have my 52 cents.
The idea of a solid dollar is more compelling.
Like who will squirt the extra 17 cents of gas in trying to get to an even number?
I'm going to get it.
Accidentally get it. And accidentally go up to 50.01.
Dude, I can't stand some people at the gas tank. It's like they start pumping or whatever and then they're like, just banging the nozzle against their. I was like,
it's fucking.
Are you fucking
full.
serious? It's no. It's metal on metal contact, which causes a spark. You're doing that in your gas.
I do it just because I don't want to drop any gasoline on the exterior of my car or on myself in case something would happen.
What?
I'm hot. I don't want to burn.
Is your gas tank on the inside
of the car? Aren't they? Like underneath your car?
They're underneath.
No people smoke and flick
but if you're
cigarettes.
Well,
you pull out the gas thing and it's got like you ever been balls deep in somebody and pull out like your shaft and you accidentally get the tip out and you get a small drip? That's what it is like with the gas. That small drip.
Nope, it's nothing like that.
That small drip can be a baby.
But you don't have to go get.
Or a fire.
That's how you start a fire.
Baby or a fire.
Babies are fires. They
Dumpster
grow
fires.
and they become that the trash people will pick up.
Once it gets cooler.
Oh, well, that means school is in session. Fuck.
Yeah.
Are we
What do
just
they have all
walking
this
in-
trash for? Kids are at school.
What was the first story?
The very first one?
Don't drive your car into a whatever. I don't know.
I
No,
mean,
that's
that was the
second.
first
Don't jump your car into a house.
No,
the
that was
first one.
third.
First one was
The egg.
Oh,
The egg.
don't
thing.
be shitty parents.
walking on eggshells here.
Yeah, don't embarrass don't
Oh.
child abuse your kids by throwing eggs at them or
Yeah.
something.
Don't try to have a sense of humor.
Yeah, that's
As
what
much
the
as, like-
lady is wanting you to believe. Don't
As much as I
beat
like
your kids with eggs.
social media, it's
Egg
like
beaters.
everybody has something to say about something, and that's probably one of the worst things
Yeah,
because
it's the best and worst.
yeah, and it's like I've always considered myself more democratic, but I want to be more democratic in the sense where the right people are voting for certain things.
Yeah,
You know, it's like when everybody
more
has a
purple.
voice, you kind of like you don't even know what you're voting for.
right.
It's man on the street style stuff. It's, what are you doing at this?
Well, I always make the
Parade,
joke like
whatever.
I log into Facebook just to know what I'm supposed to be mad at today.
It's like, put that on my agenda. I got time for that. Got time to be a little pissy, bitch about somebody's parenting.
A lot of love for Bray Wyatt, by the way.
Yeah.
Huh? That does suck.
Fuck, 2 of the 3 members of the Wyatt family are dead.
Not the one that I thought would die first.
Right? No offense.
Thought or
Eric.
hope?
Yeah, no offense, Eric Rowan, but you look in bad shape, bud. Well, Justin, you want to wrap us up?
Trying.
We wrap my leg up because it stings.
You puss.
I am a puss. I don't wax. It burns.
There it is.
burning. Hey, somebody make sure Jeremy gets that. So he can be cool like the rest of us.
He's not
I
cool.
put mine on my bag.
He's not cool.
I
got
got my
my-
Ninja Turtle.
Mine on my
keychains.
pute.
Your what?
My pute. My computer. My computer.
I like
gotta-
that Lonnie was representing on his microphone.
Yeah. Well, thank you,
Yeah, I hope you guys
John,
were,
for the presents. Thank you,
Yeah.
Lonnie,
for
AJ
Lonnie.
for the nipple, whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess there is no more Lonnie. So remember that.
Yeah.
Gone.
I think
Don't throw eggs at your kids.
Gone forever.
Lonnie owes me 17 more years.
I really want a sandwich still
Cock
because of your
teasers with
fucking
sandwiches.
shit.
Are we trying to
We had fun songs.
wrap it all back
If
around?
you guys have suggestions for songs to podcast topics, just fucking shoot us a message.
Yeah, we listen.
Shoot.
We read it.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave here and go.
And then we ignore and laugh at you. Did you drink 3 of those tonight?
No,
That is bad for
I did 2.
Jeez. That's more than Nicolas
That's
Cage.
my 3rd today, though.
Someone's not sleeping.
Yeah,
I don't work till 3 tomorrow.
lucky. All right.
No, it's not.
I'm hoping to be in bed by 3 tomorrow.
Thank you guys for tuning in to episode BPT 055. Check out next week's for Romeo plus Juliet's movie review.
Equals fun.
No, it wouldn't be next week. That was last week.
Nope, it would be next week. We did this on the end of the last podcast, too.
Yes. All right. Have a good one.
Get it together.
Love you.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Join us next time for more absurdity that only the guys from the Boundless PodTrap can bring you.